August. It's intended to be
Joseph
sent to
W.
all of our
Brady
exclusive
addresses
clients around the world.
concerns over
It's also
current
intended to be
developments
sent to
and
all of our
how they
clients who
affect
receive the
our
Bradco Desert
economy
Report.
in the
About
high
12
desert
to 13
Mojave River
minutes
Valley.
after you get it. Because I think everybody's kind of wondering what's going on in the high desert. I think people are worried about the economy, they're worried about interest rates, they're worried about our political system. Well, I can tell each one of you that have seen this. The market has slowed down, activity has slowed down, but the world's not coming to an end. I've been out here 35 years, been doing business out here 37 years. I've seen a lot of cycles. I've seen things literally stop. I mean, I remember the night that we went to war with Iraq. It absolutely stopped. The world stopped. What we've seen is if your land is priced right, it's going to sell. If it's overpriced, it's not going to sell. If your building is priced right, it's going to sell. If your cap rate is right, it's going to sell. If your income is stated correctly on that building, it's going to sell. If your lease rate is correct, it's going to lease. So the basics have not changed at all. I think that what happens is we've seen agents come in from out of the area or from locally that don't know what they're doing. They get a shot at getting a listing, which I'd never deprive anybody from taking a listing. But they may say to a aggressive owner that says, "Hey Joe, I'll give you that listing if you list it for $1.75 a foot." When the building's worth $1 a foot, it makes the agent look kind of stupid. The owner doesn't get any income. The owner gets really frustrated with that agent at the end of 4 months, and now you've got a blow-up deal. So we use a system called Client Look. Client Look is something our exclusive clients get. They can literally sit and look 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They can be on a cruise ship and see what we're doing, how we're marketing, who's taking a look at it. And I think that's what's changed. Do I think we're going to fall off the cliff? No. Let me tell you all very quickly where things are still positive. So the Silverwood project, which is down southeast Hesperia, it's being managed by DMB Development. It's being run on a day-to-day basis by John O'Haney and Terra Verde Partners. The seed money, the equity money for the 9,633 acres, for the 15,663 homes, for the 5 national home builders that have been picked, and for the model complex that will be open in June. That money was raised by a gentleman named Ray Werta, W-E-R-T-A. Ray is the former chairman of a company called CBRE. So CBRE is the largest commercial brokerage firm in the world. They operate out of 500 offices in 100 countries, but they're involved with 100 different. So Ray used to be the chairman of the board. He was on the board of directors until recently, and he's not there anymore. He's very active still in real estate. He's the former president of the Irvine Company. So he raised that money. They've moved 10 million cubic yards of dirt. They're working on the parkway right now to be installed. The model complex will be open in June of 24, and the 5 builders have been selected. So great things are happening down there. Ranchero Road that will connect their project to I-15, a $52 million widening improvements. That's fully under construction. In Hesperia along that between I-15 and 395, there's 13 million square feet of industrial in the planning stage right now. The 3 million square feet that Ken Shear, Mark Milikovich had that comprised 3.2 million feet that was listed by CBRE. The Modway building's gone, the second building's gone, and Ken Shear's building is spec in the back. He's getting plenty of action. Now, the spread is he might get 70, 75 cents a foot triple net there, while they're getting $1.10 a square foot for the same size building down below, but he's still getting activity. You get up to Atlanta, and they're doing well. They've got apparently 20 million feet of industrial that's in the planning stage. So right now, when it's quiet, is when seasoned developers, do all their studies, do all their engineering, their architectural. So when the market gets good, they've got a project ready to go. So they're doing very well. I think Jesse Flores is doing a great job as a city manager. Gabriel Reyes is the mayor. He's a 2-time mayor, and so they're really moving. And they've got a gentleman that's kind of on the economic development side. His name's Dr. Gil Keenan. He's got a company called Local Equity. I think he's been a real big blessing in the high desert. He's been doing work out in Barstow. He has done work for the city of Atlanta. He was formerly up north. He's based out of Beverly Hills. He has an office out in Ontario. And then when you really need something done, you've got an important client, he's able to be sure that they kind of move their planning department's contracted out. So it's a little challenging, and then right to the east, you've got Southern California Logistics Airport. That's still got 50 million feet of entitlement to go. It's controlled controlled by the largest industrial developer in the world with Prologis, and you've got Kim Snyder, president of Western Division, oversees that with Tyson Chaves. So they've built 5 million feet out there so far. They've got another 50 million to go. So there's just great things going to be happening on out there. Amazon has finally opened up their distribution facility out there. And then to the east, you got Apple Valley. They got Sprouts coming on in there. We also got Sprouts coming into Victorville, I need to say. So they've got that coming in. They've got some good fast food going in they've got Raising Cane's going in on Bear Valley Road over there. But in the northern portion of town out there, where the town was very, very smart years ago to do some pre-planning and create a specific plan area so that the entitlements would not take very long, and that they could go through kind of a master CEQA, although they still have to do a kind of a refined CEQA for each project. They have 20 million feet in the process of being developed out there. So you've got some major players. You got Herb Krumzik out there. You've got Ken Shear and Mark Milikovich with Covington, so they can take a big bite. And then you get out to Barstow. So everybody's kind of forgotten about Barstow. Barstow was the big city of the block during the 50s and 60s out here, and then they kind of fell off, I think, due to some bad leadership. But right now, Burlington Northern has selected that to be their largest railhead in the world. They have 4,500 acres that they've acquired. They've acquired about 4,300 of it so far. It's a rather daunting site. We've seen it. Lena Kent is their public information officer. The minimum investment at this point is $1.5 billion, but I've been assured multiple times that it's probably going to be close to $3 billion. They're going to create 22,000 jobs within the BNSF system. We believe that there'll be closer to about 10,000 created out in Barstow, which is huge when you take a city that's got 23,000 people total in it right now. So a lot of money and infrastructure is going to go on in. You got some great leadership out in the city with Willie Hopkins and Cody Tompkins and Chris Eldreth and those people, Brad Merrill. So that's moving along really well. So that's really exciting. Lewis operating, they have Lewis Retail. They're one of the largest private developers, not only in the state but in the country. We were able to work with them on an exclusive negotiating agreement that was announced 2 weeks ago. I think July 17th, Monday, July 17th, at the City Council. And that's exciting. It's a large piece of land right behind where Flying J is that has to be acquired through a negotiation with the Bureau of Land Management. But Lewis brings they bring a multi-generational approach. They are probably one of the best mixed-use developers that you'll see from a residential, commercial, and industrial standpoint. So when people ask what's going on up here, it has slowed down. Activity has slowed down, but we're still getting calls to list property. We're being a little bit more careful, the expectation. We're still getting people to look at lease space. So we're not distraught. We don't think the world's falling apart. Like, I think the media, I think that, we now have so many forms of media. And Terry, you know what? I love my phone, but I think sometimes that some of the news that comes on here, makes me kind of wonder. And you walk into a restaurant, anywhere you go, I mean, people aren't even talking to each other. They're like this, and they're kind of worried. So I think we have some good times ahead. They're going to be slow for a little bit, but the world's not giving up. If you have any questions, feel free to call the office at 760-951-5111, extension 101. If you go to extension 100, there may be a little void. One of our very key team players is taking a medical leave, and it's serious, and we're praying deeply for Sam to come through this. Her name's Samantha Allen. She's been with us over a year, so we're praying she'll get through that. But Pam's here, Francisco's here, Latrice Johnson, we call her LJ. Here's Jacob's here. We're not going anywhere, and we'd love to help you out and answer any questions you got. I'll ask Terry to post my email up there, so feel free to email if you have any questions. And other than that, Terry, that's kind of my report on this July 27th, 2023.